I'm Dr. Nerissa Bauer from Let's Talk Kids Health. I'm so glad you decided to join me for a quick chat today. I wanted to share with you 4 quick tips of how to talk to your child who might have anxiety. I've unfortunately seen a lot of children who are having a hard time today given the life that we're living in during this pandemic. It's been stressful for everybody. And if you're concerned that your child might have anxiety, here are 4 tips that I'd like to share with you. Number 1, first, you'll want to try to talk to your child about what anxiety is, especially when they're calm. So I usually recommend laying down with them at bedtime or maybe after they've eaten something and you're sitting on the couch together, and then just asking them, what do you think a smoke detector's for? And they're going to look at you a little bit funny and say, huh? But tell them to just go with that and ask them, what does a smoke detector do? How does it work? And what do people do when it goes off, right? I like to use that comparison when introducing the concept of anxiety because our amygdala, which is the emotion processing center in the brain, is the thing that makes us aware when we are frightened, scared, or anxious, right? It sort of triggers our body into action and puts us in that fight or flight mode. So it's very much similar to a smoke detector. So if you can get your child to talk about the fact that a smoke detector is in the house, most of the time it's quiet, but if there's smoke or it detects some fire, it will make a loud sound to get people up and out and moving, right? Just like the amygdala. So once they understand and can relate the anxiety and in the amygdala to a smoke detector, I often will use a model, just like this one. Unfortunately, the amygdala is not actually on here, but I will usually use this to generally point to the area in which the amygdala is. And you can always print out a Google image on the computer, look it up, and show them because kids are curious and they usually will feel better once they have more facts. So I go ahead and tell them about the amygdala and I have them repeat it, even though it's a big word. And then I explain to them that's what causes us to get ready to be on hyper alert when our alarm system goes off. And then I'll gently ask the child, when do you think your amygdala has gone off before? This gets them talking about what they think might be their triggers for their anxiety, which can be really helpful to you parents because sometimes when there's nothing perceived as danger right in front of you, but to the child who's thinking about something that might have even happened earlier in the day or a couple days ago, and they're still constantly thinking about it, replaying it, it could be triggering a lot of these emotions. And so helping them when they're calm, talk to you about what they think might be causing their smoke detector to go off can be really helpful. So number 2, I encourage parents to be like their child's emotion coach. What does that mean? First, we talk about validating emotions, not just the negative ones, but the positive ones too. In doing so, you build your child's emotional vocabulary, and that's really important, especially when they're just feeling. You want them to be able to put words to their thoughts and their feelings, right? Sometimes kids just feel, but when parents step in and say, boy, you sound really frustrated right there, or you must be really worried about that. That actually helps them connect the dots to potentially that feeling, that descriptor, and what they're feeling. I also, with younger kids, like to use things like this, an emotion flip chart, so they can look for the face that they're potentially feeling and then learn the word. So it's another nice way in which to promote just talking about emotions. You can use children's books, TV shows, when you're reading together, or even yourself as a role model, right? You can come home and talk to them about how frustrated you were about something that happened, or potentially, you had to prepare for a talk in front of your colleagues at work and you sort of felt your heart racing or your stomach kind of had butterflies in your stomach. And show them that everybody gets these feelings from time to time. Number 3, so when your child is open and ready to talk to you, and that you've opened the door a little bit by saying, you must be feeling anxious right now, or frustrated, or overwhelmed, that oftentimes is enough to give the child pause and be like, they're onto something here, and they're more open to chat with you about what they're thinking. So, parents, just remember this phrase: tell me more. So, after you label the emotion, offer that and invite them to sort of think about, what was I thinking then? Because sometimes they're just feeling, especially when they're in that emotion mind, and it helps them if someone coaches them through to really kind of sit back, take a deep breath, and think about what the thoughts were in their mind when their amygdala was triggered. Okay? And then number 4 is coaxing your child to name their anxiety. Why? Well, because when they're feeling, it feels so overwhelming. And when you put a name to it, and it should be a silly name, it helps bring it out of that emotion mind into the more rational mind, right? And then it's something that can be tackled. So you can even, imagine yourself saying, "Hey, Johnny, it looks like you're really getting worked up right now. That must be the worry bully on your shoulder. Let's go tell him to go away," right? So again, if you can get your child to consider naming the anxiety, giving it a silly name to help diffuse it, and then every time you see their body reacting in that way, just name it, and that'll give them a cue that, hey, somebody is there to support me and they're understanding me, they're seeing me, and it can be the difference in helping your child start to settle. Hope you found that helpful. Please check out my blog post, Tips for Talking to Your Child About Anxiety, where I also include parenting books and children's book resources.